part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours, now through December 20th. All of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net, and together we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
You ready?
It's the queen of royal badness.
It's time for the Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin's got a lot to talk about.
She do it all night. She going hard, right? She loves spotlight. She make that thing go. Drip, drop, drip, drippity drop, drip, drop. I do my dance like drip, drop, drip, drippity drop, drip, drop, drip, drippity drop. I know you got that bomb, shorty, can I get it?
Okay. You are listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, interviews, all the above. Shout out to Yaz. Now that is Brashear, is it Gray? Brashear Gray, from, as you all know, Empire, if you did watch Empire. Yeah, I forgot he actually continued to do music. He was an artist. He was a double threat. I mean, I don't know if it was a triple threat, but okay. All right. Yaz. Okay. Anyway, happy birthday to him. Hope he is enjoying his day. Hello to you all. I'm glad that you are joining me inside the Raw Report today. I am looking forward to having a wonderful show. It's been a busy day, but it's been a good one nonetheless, and I hope that you all had a great day. And if you are on the drive home, I hope it's not too much out there for you. But if you're listening to the Raw Report, I promise we're going to go through this real smoothly. We're going to get some energy and roll through it, because that's how we do. It is a wonderful Tuesday. And again, like I mentioned before, I'm looking forward to having a great show today. And if you want to call in at any point, you can do that by calling 1-800-920-1580. You could also join us right now over in our YouTube chat, because it's a good idea. We interact with each other. We have a community over there, and I love it. I love y'all over here in the community. So shout out to you all. Hey, come on in to YouTube. They're shouting me out. They're shouting Andy out, because, that's just how we get down over here. I have a few updates that I want to get to. So here's the deal. We have been talking, of course, over the past several days, because it's a big deal, talking about New York's Adult Survivors Act. Well, here's the thing. We've never really mentioned how many cases there were. We were talking about all the big names, all the celebrity names that have been called, and people who've been having lawsuits against them. And we've never mentioned other people who are taking advantage of this extended, sort of lifted statute of limitations. It had been lifted for a year. And we now know that over 3,000 lawsuits have emerged. That is 3,000 lawsuits. These include people who were, just everyday citizens, and including, again, some of these men who we've talked about on our show. So, again, I'm hoping for resolution, resolve, and justice for all of them. But with that being said, we've talked about Diddy at length on this show. Diddy, because he's been named in 3 of these lawsuits, he has officially stepped down. They say this is temporary, okay? But he stepped down as the chairman of Revolt. Remember, we spoke about this the other day. I'm like, who's going to say something? Well, they actually have said something. They finally spoken up about this and made mention that, again, that is just temporary. They said while Mr. Combs has previously had no operational or day-to-day role in the business, this decision helps to ensure that Revolt remains steadfastly focused on our mission to create meaningful content for the culture and amplify the voices of all Black people throughout this country and the African diaspora. So I'm just glad that they finally spoke out, because it was getting weird. It's getting weird. You know who else spoke out, though? Dr. Steve Perry. I don't know if you know who this man is. He's a great, mind over in the educational system. And he had actually he's founder and head of schools, and he partnered with Diddy with Capital Preparatory Charter Schools, a number of them. And he's made an announcement that they've decided to end their partnership with Diddy as well. So it does look like all of this is coming back to really bite him and take him down. We don't know what more is going to happen, but, we're keeping a close watch on it. In other news, for those who are interested, Jonathan Majors is finally heading to trial. I know we have been talking about it for months now. We're wanting to see what's going to happen. But that is beginning to happen on Wednesday in New York, again, on assault charges. So we will keep you updated there. And finally, Tiffany Haddish, she's talking about trying to get some help. Now, I don't know if this is a joke or if she's really going to take this seriously, but Tiffany Haddish just last week was arrested in Beverly Hills. This was the second time this has happened. She fell asleep behind the wheel. She was stopped. Now, she was stopped at a light, but she fell asleep behind the wheel. They say she was intoxicated. Hopefully, she does get the help that she needs, because, number one, we want her to be okay, but we also desperately need her not to hurt anybody should she be intoxicated, or she shouldn't be driving intoxicated. Nobody should, by the way, but we just don't want anything bad to happen. So hopefully she does get help. She says it's never going to happen again. Let's get to the Raw report, though. Andy?
Now it's time for a breakdown.
Okay, I told you guys yesterday we are going to be talking about this, and it's going to be a good conversation. I hope to uncover some things, but we're talking about Tyla, who is a young lady. She's a singer from South Africa, and she identifies as colored. Now, people here in the United States, of course, Black people in particular, had a problem with the fact that she identifies as colored, because it means something different to us versus what it means to South Africans. At Johannesburg specifically is where Tyla's from. We're going to break it down, tell you what people are saying, and we're actually going to do a little bit more uncovering of the word colored, okay? Just so we're clear. We're also talking about Miss Tina Knowles, Mama Knowles. She had enough of y'all. Miss Knowles had enough of y'all talking about her daughter Beyonce. Beyonce, who recently had a filming, like a screening of her film Renaissance. Remember, the worldwide tour that she did is now a film, and she had a screening for it with a lot of great people who showed up, and Beyonce showed up and showed out. Let me tell it, she looked beautiful. She had on this beautiful dress, and she had silver or very platinum blonde hair, and people started to come for her badly. Okay, I thought she was beautiful, but we'll tell you what Mama Knowles said and why she's tired of the Bozos online. We're also going to try to fit in, if we can, get into this conversation about Queen Naija. She's a singer who tells a fan of hers who has an opportunity to talk to her, and the fan says, "You're my idol." And Queen Naija tries to back her down and tells her why she does not want to be her idol. We'll break that all down with our wonderful contributor on the other side. You're listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Eric Bellinger hanging out right here with my family at The Raw Report. Keep it locked.
You're inside The Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580. Environmental justice, pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, Black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
Don't miss Provember at Lowe's. Save $80 on a DeWalt combo kit and save $20 on a 5-gallon pail of HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams All-Purpose Power Primer. Plus, MVP's members earn 3 times the bonus points on DeWalt and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams products. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Bonus points calculated before tax and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 11/22, subject to change.
King C. Gillette knows you're dedicated to your barbershop routine. But how do you maintain the beard hair you already have? The King C. Gillette Beard Thickener helps to reduce patchiness and strengthens hair's resilience to breakage. Apply the King C. Gillette Beard Thickener daily to see a thicker and fuller beard in just 14 days. It's highly scented with King C. Gillette's signature scent. Just trim, wash, and soften. With King C. Gillette.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stopped smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Rob Report.
With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
And you know I am not here to do it alone. We have our wonderful contributor for the day, Chris Gunther, who is calling on the line. Hello to you, Chris.
What's going on, Robin? Oh, it's so great to hear from you.
Oh, thank you so much. You as well. And I have to say thank you. I want to publicly thank you because you're always so supportive, but not just of me. You're supportive of everybody. I see you commenting, you're liking, you're learning, you're inspiring too. You're doing all the above. So I want to tell you thank you very much for always just being such a light for everybody.
I appreciate that. And, you know, in this world filled with a lot of craziness and filled with a lot of drama, I'm just trying to show some love and be a light. We all need it. You know, 2023 has been a rough year for a lot of people, but here we are approaching the end of it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep on showing love. And I want to give you your flowers, too, for all the stuff that you do. It does not go unnoticed. And I'm going to just go ahead and put this out there. When it comes down to the Queen of L.A., I think it's safe to say that title goes to Robin. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there.
You're going to have everybody who's competing for that title coming at my throat in my DMs like, nah, you ain't it.
Well,
but
they
thank
can come
you,
at
Chris.
me, and I don't mind debating. Absolutely, no problem at all.
I definitely appreciate you so much, and yeah, thank you for that. That put a smile on my face. So, Chris, you know, I was looking forward to having this conversation. I prepped everybody yesterday in regards to Tyla, who, you know, she was the person who I played yesterday on the Who's Got Next because she has taken over the airwaves. Let me tell it. She's got a dance, a signature dance that everybody and their mama is trying to do. I'm not going to, I could do it, but I'm not doing it on camera. I ain't doing it for y'all.
I understand now.
Yeah, but Tyla, beautiful, beautiful young woman. She's from South Africa and Johannesburg. She is just a beautiful, beautiful woman. And she's come over here. Her music precedes her. She's come over here to the States. And, you know, like I said, she's blowing up, which is a great thing for her. Now, with that, she's doing all kind of interviews. And when she stated in an interview that she basically grew up in a colored home. She was saying, you know, that she grew up listening to R&B music and all of that. And when she said colored, Chris, you already know, black people over here were like, wait, what? We don't use that racial slur anymore. We don't use that word over here, colored. And some people actually wanted her to identify as black. Now, obviously this sparked an entire debate online, but one specific comment I want to read, and then I'm going to play a video and we'll break it down from there. But one comment says, she is not black. Tyla is colored. The racial history of America is not the only one that's valid. You cannot negate someone's entire ancestry and lineage simply because it doesn't fit in with your American worldview. Stop erasing Tyla's identity. It's not cool. I think that was well said. Chris, I'm going to play this video that I also think breaks this. I think it helps to break it down a little bit more, but I want to hear your views on it when we're done. Let's take a listen to it.
Tyla is colored. And some of you have an issue with that, so let's talk about it. This video of Grammy-nominated South African singer Tyla has been going viral for a lot of unfortunate reasons. Around 10% of South Africa's population is made up of the colored community. To be colored is to be mixed race. They are descendants of the Khoisan, one of the oldest tribes in Southern Africa. They've gone on to create culture, customs, and a rich sense of self within South Africa, and are acknowledged and respected as colored people. Now, I understand that the term colored means something different in other parts of the world, and to ask you to ignore your own history and painful associations would be unfair. However, we are not going to erase someone's culture because we don't understand it. This could be a beautiful opportunity to educate ourselves and each other and understand that the way you perceive someone is not who they have to be, because then we're just doing what's been done to us.
Mm-hmm. Very, very true. What do you think about this? I mean, this has been a conversation that's been sparked for years, actually. People identifying as black and trying to take that away from other people, saying they didn't have the black experience, right? So it's a conversation that's actually a worldwide conversation, because let us tell it, you have black people everywhere. But clearly, as we see here with Tyla, she identifies as colored. It's an interesting conversation, but I want to hear your thoughts on it, Chris.
Well, if we look at the history of where music came from, everything started in Africa. And if you want to, talk about who was in Africa, the reality of it is black people were in Africa before anybody else. And I understand where she's coming from the standpoint of, I would rather be called colored. But in America, that term is very racist because of the ignorance of which it came from. Mm-hmm. But we as blacks have been so blessed, we could take something that's negative and turn it into a positive to the point where that is what we recognize ourselves as. Mm-hmm. And for a black woman who let me be respectful. For a colored woman to say that, it's like she's trying to give a salute to where she's come from. But life is all about evolving. And coming over here in America, we don't use the term colored because of the racist background that it comes from. But over here, she would be considered a black queen. And even in Africa, we were kings and queens before anybody else. So I believe, what she's trying to do is tell us up front what she would rather us call her. And the way that I would equate it is, we look at people around here now. They don't want you to call them something. They would rather you call them something else. All of us in America, it's okay not to necessarily agree with somebody's standpoint, but it's never okay to disrespect somebody. Mm-hmm. And if that's what she would like to be called, we should respect her wishes and give her what she wants.
Andy, you wanted to jump in?
The only thing that bothers me is I understand here in America, us blacks, we have issues with the term colored, yet we still refer to us sometimes as people of color. And I understand that's a more all-encompassing terms of other people who aren't white. Mm-hmm. But like I've had issues with the term people of color because of the background. So it's just a little bit confusing.
To my understanding, I know a lot of people have a problem with the term people of color, but mainly because they didn't want other people, different races, jumping in on our plight. Right. So when you include other people of color, which, you know, obviously there are, people have a problem with that. But I hear your point, too, Andy. It actually makes sense. And just to be clear, when we say the word colored, yes, that definitely is, it sounds the same, but they spell the word colored with a U. We never did that, right? So that is a very distinct way that they're trying to differentiate the term. I agree with you. We do have a call that I want to get to as well, but I have another question for you, Chris. Is it on us to become more knowledgeable? Because obviously you had a ton of people who don't understand that. They don't understand that. They don't understand that people are still called colored in other countries. They want to automatically label you as black if they perceive you as black. And is that just because we're not knowledgeable, or is it on other countries if they have other terminologies to learn? Because again, you mentioned Tyla coming over here with her music. She wants to sing, and she's fascinated with our celebrities. I mean, she, you know, Chris Brown, and she talked about all these different people, SZA. She's coming over here to the States to get her music well known and to become a star. So is it on her and anyone like her who needs to adjust and adapt to our ways of living and the ways that we interpret color and race here in the States?
Well, two things can be true. You know, we could be, as a country, or just even as a people, we could be several steps behind because we're not necessarily up to date on what the other countries' lingos are. But on the flip side of that, you can also make the argument that, you know, if you're going to come over here, you need to learn the lingo and need to learn the beats, and you need to learn what I guess we would consider to be okay. You know, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Mm-hmm. And the greatest thing that any of us can do is, you know, try to get to learn about somebody's culture, try to get to learn about what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. So that way, when they come over here, we could, you know, try to understand where they're coming from, but also bring them up to speed to what we do over here. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the fact that music is the universal language that brings us all together. And when you have somebody of her caliber who obviously is making a lot of noise, you can't turn on the radio without hearing her. It's great that she even has us talking about her in this regard, because she's educating us on something that we probably, not so much that we forgot about, but she's highlighting something that we need to be aware of as well.
Well said. Okay, let's go ahead and get to Fahima's call. Hello to you, Fahima.
Greetings, Robin, and greetings to your special guest there. I don't know if you got my DM I sent you last night after the show. So the thing is what Americans tend to do is they view things through a Western lens. In South Africa, you have the stratification of white, black, colored, and Indian. In Louisiana, there is racial stratification. In Brazil, there is racial stratification. This young lady is not coming to America to become a naturalized citizen. She's coming, she has a visa to do her concert. And in South Africa, she is considered colored. Just like Trevor Noah. In South Africa, he is considered colored, right? In America, Trevor Noah is black. In America, this young lady is black, right? And I think I shared with you, when I was in South Africa in 2001 for the UN Conference Against Racism, there was a gentleman. He introduced himself, "Hi, I'm Winston Shillingford, and I'm colored," right? And so the thing is, the connotation of colored in America is very different from its meaning in South Africa. In Louisiana, you have mixed race people who are octoroon, quadroon, etc. And in Brazil, you have various racial stratification. So the thing is that we cannot superimpose our lens on other people.
Hear, hear, Fahima. Give her an applause.
And I agree with you, by the way.
Yes. Yes.
I agree with you, by the way. I agree with your perspective with your perspective. I believe in self-determination. People have a right to define themselves however they choose to. She's not from here. She's from South Africa, and she's not becoming a naturalized citizen. If she became a naturalized citizen, then she would be considered black.
Okay. Very, very good. I hear you. I appreciate you, and thank you so much for enlightening us. I agree with you. Thank you so much for your call, Fahima. I will say that there was a journalist who wrote about this topic. This is a topic that has been discussed for quite some time. But with that being said, she writes, colored is a term that identifies a community who have cultivated a culture, language, and overall identity that wasn't related to their segregation, but rather to identify the newly established community, colored. Again, with the U, right? And that was legally defined as a racial classification during South Africa's apartheid, which lasted from 1948 until the early 90s. She goes on to make it a little bit more clear, but I do think it's, to your point, Chris, I think that it's twofold here. I think that we could stand to learn more about the world, you know, and I always say, though, to the other side of it, Tyla's trying to come over here and she wants to do business and music and become a star here in the States. I think it is also important to know where you're going, know what, get to know the land, get to know the way of where you are going, do some extensive research on it. That's what I say. So I think two can be right. Michael Irvin Walker says, I get what she's saying, but in South Africa, apartheid and what that did to black South Africans are coloreds, still kind of weird. And now I'm getting it a little bit more. Colored is basically not what may be considered dark, ugly black, or on the other side, on the other side of the black line. I just think this is an interesting conversation. I wish we could have more of it, and we may pick it up at another time. But right now, I'm going to keep Chris on the line because we got to talk about Beyonce and her mom when we come forward. But right now, we have news, traffic, and sports. You are listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Lil Real Howery. And right now, you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. That's right. The Raw Report.
More of The Raw Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A historic school renovation is nearing completion thanks to Congressman Steve Cohen. The congressman has secured $3 million in funding to reopen Melrose High School in Memphis, Tennessee as a new multi-use building. The new facility will include a cafe, library, and almost 30 senior living apartments. Melrose High School was the first black high school in Memphis, opening in 1938. The building is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. A federal judge in Raleigh, North Carolina has turned down a request to speed up hearings in a lawsuit seeking to block newly drawn Republican Senate maps from taking effect. The suit, brought by District 3 plaintiffs Rodney Pierce and Moses Matthews, claims the GOP district lines constitute gerrymandering of black voters and denies them the opportunity to elect leaders of their own choice. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Delays downtown continue now on the 10 West before the 110 as a stall is currently blocking the right lane with stop traffic up to 40 minutes at the moment from Highway 60. Over in El Monte, an accident remains blocking the second lane from the left at the 10 East before Peck Road with a 30-minute backup running heavy from City Terrace Drive, Herbert Avenue split. Over in Hollywood Hills, good news, accident's been cleared from the 101 South before the Highland Avenue, Hollywood Bowl interchange with a 25-minute traffic jam in recovery running heavy from DeSoto Avenue.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the Accident Guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? The Accident Guys have helped over 5,000 injured clients with an impressive winning record.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers had a very unflattering milestone in their 44-point loss in Philadelphia Monday night. They were outscored 40-14 in the fourth quarter. That's the highest point differential in any quarter in the NBA this season. The Lakers need to regroup in a hurry. They're at Detroit Wednesday night. The Pistons have lost 14 straight games, and they are desperate for a win. Whatever is bugging the Lakers, they better fix it before Wednesday night. Former Chargers tight end Antonio Gates moved a step closer to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Gates is one of 22 semifinalists for the class of 2024 that was announced Tuesday morning. In 16 seasons with the Chargers, he had 955 catches for 11,841 yards and a league record 116 touchdowns for tight ends. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net, and together we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007 they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed about what's really going on. Who's got next? And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty, trying to catch me riding dirty, trying to catch me riding.
You are inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Happy birthday to Chameleonaire. Now, what happened to him? Now, I know he used to do music. This song took over for a very long time. But he turned entrepreneur, actually. He puts a lot of people up on game, and I like that about him. So happy birthday to you, Andy.
Also, I just wanted to highlight that, Chameleonaire, after performing one time and seeing a white kid perform his lyrics, he decided not to use the N-word moving forward in his music. So I just wanted to highlight that.
Oh, very nice. Thank you so much for that. Thank you very much for that piece. Appreciate that, Andy. Andy had a great idea. We were talking, obviously on the break, and we wanted to finish off the conversation of, Andy, do you want to give your own opinion on what you think would help when we're talking about We just got done talking about Tyla, South African young lady who wants to come over here to the States and become an artist, but she identifies as colored in South Africa, where we may identify as black. Give us your take on that.
Yeah, I just think a real quick solution would basically be that for any individual traveling abroad, whether it's Americans going to Africa, to Europe, to South America, or folks from outside of America coming to America, I think I don't know whose responsibility it would be. Whatever airport you attend to, you purchase a ticket. I think while you're waiting for your flight at the airport, maybe for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes or so or whatnot, you go into a room and, the airline or the aircraft, they provide you this video basically showing you the customs of the particular country that you're going to, so that, you're kind of abreast on, how to conduct yourself, what I'm saying? The do's and don'ts while you're at said country. I think that would be helpful for people.
I think it's brilliant. I think we should work on that. Somebody take that idea and run with it. All right. Let's get back to Chris Gunther, our entertainment contributor, who is calling on the line. Now, Chris, I wanted to discuss this whole Beyonce thing. There's there's a few videos or pictures, rather, that are viral now going around online of Beyonce in a beautiful silver gown. She's got platinum blonde hair. She normally doesn't do platinum. It is usually just blondish, brownish, and she varies, different variations of that. But it's a like almost white platinum blonde hair. And people are saying she looks like she's a white woman. She's bleached her skin. She has done all the above. And as many people who love Beyonce, I thought she would get a lot more love than what she did. But Miss Tina Knowles has spoken up about it. She went on an entire rant, but just a clip of what she says. She says she does a film called The Renaissance, where the whole theme is silver and silver hair, a silver carpet, and suggested silver attire. And you bozos decide that she's trying to be a white woman and is bleaching her skin. How sad is it that some of her own people continue the stupid narrative, hate and jealousy, with hate and jealousy? She says she basically wore silver hair to match the dress and a fashion statement. And it's true that while her skin looked a little bit, maybe a little lighter, we are in a season right now going into winter where obviously there's not as much sun, there's not as much production of melanin. And so we all experience, black folks, we all experience our skin getting a little bit lighter, but they came at her. Fair or not fair? What do you think about the fact that I thought she looked stunning, number one? What are your thoughts on it, Chris?
Robin, I think everybody in the world has heard of this one entertainer from Gary, Indiana. The one that wore the glove and move. I think his name was Michael Jackson. Remember when, he had this unfortunate disease called vitiligo, and it charged his skin pigmentation started to change, and people had the audacity to say Michael was trying to turn himself into a white man. Yeah. Now, the reason why I bring that up, Michael, the greatest of all time, we get it. But ain't it something how when black entertainers become so popular, they think the first thing we want to do is become white? Absolutely not. Beyonce was on a red carpet promoting her own movie that she realistically did not have to come to. Beyonce has reached a point where if she never walks another red carpet, if she never talks to another journalist, none of us can get mad at her because she's reached that level where she don't need us. Real talk, we need her. And it's jacked up when a mother has to call a lot of stuff out and say, I'm sick of you bozos. I'm just paraphrasing it. I'm sick of you bozos trying to talk about my kid. Notice how Beyonce has never even clapped back because she doesn't need to clap back. Yeah. Those of us who've been rocking with Beyonce since forever, we understand that there is no way on God's green earth she would ever try to turn herself into another color that we all know she is not. With all due respect to Taylor Swift, with all due respect to Christina Aguilera, with all due respect to all these other white entertainers, Beyonce ain't trying to become one of y'all. Y'all trying to become somebody of her. The woman got a whole Bayhive for crying out loud. You know what some of them other white people got? rehab facilities that they need to go to. Plain and simple. So, man, look, we all need
Go
to stop
off,
this
Chris.
foolishness. Just keeping it all the way real. We need to stop trying to put one of our own people down just because, face it, the wintertime is coming. I'm going to tell myself for a second. I'm light-skinned. In the wintertime, I hate it because I turn pale. But you want to know what happens? I get stopped by the cops. I'm still a certain word that I can't say on the radio, all right? But you understand what I'm talking about here.
Yep.
So all this foolishness, man, y'all need to go somewhere with that. The Queen ain't hurt nobody. And guess what? Everybody in the world still about to go watch her movie. And y'all still going to be buying her albums and selling out concerts when she go back on tour. And I got news for you. She's black.
She's black, plain and simple. She is black. Now, this is the same woman, you know, I can't stand it, you know, the fact that people would go there. And it is, that's why I keep saying it be your own people. It be your own people. You know, where I looked up the saying because I couldn't remember it verbatim, but the saying by Harvey Dent, y'all probably know what I'm saying. It says, die a hero, either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. I mean, it almost feels like that when it comes to Beyonce or any other successful person for that matter. Black person for that matter. We have a tendency to root these people on, especially when they're just starting out. We've seen it happen, and I'll give you recent names. You guys feel free to join me in the comments and tell me some others, but we've seen it happen to Tiffany Haddish. We've seen it happen to Kevin Hart, Beyonce. I mean, we can go down a list. We can actually find a list and start to see when we started to see the rise of these people, we rooted them on. We supported them. We bought their things. We tried to push them to the top. We tried to help them stand on our shoulders to jump out of the barrels in a crab, or the crabs in a barrel rather. We tried to help them, right? And once they got out the barrel, now they are no longer accessible to us. Now we feel as though you guys think that y'all too good for us. So we try to pull you back into the barrel. That is just what happens. That is just a human nature kind of thing. And it bothers me so much because Beyonce is the very woman who celebrates us as brown people. She talk about brown skin girl, black is king. She talks about Jay-Z having a big nose, and she likes her man like that. She likes her baby with the afro. Like, she's the one who celebrates all of that. So for them to kind of come at her for a look, I understand Miss Tina Knowles is, I understand her frustration. Yeah, it is ridiculous.
It is jacked up. And if I could get back in here just for a hot second. I was watching an interview that Eddie Griffin did on Vlad TV, and I'm paraphrasing it. And he had mentioned that has been a systematic effort to destroy all the work of our black entertainers. And I do not disagree with that, because let's look at it from this perspective. You know, unfortunately, you have entertainers like you had mentioned, Beyonce, Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish, Jay-Z, and we celebrate them in our own community. Yet the moment that they get a little bit too big, we now start to refute them and try to say they're devil worshipers, or try to say that, you know, they're not as great as we think they were. And it's just jacked up, because we as a people can be our own worst critic. And I'll go ahead and throw her out here. I don't hear anyone saying this about Taylor Swift. I don't hear any of the, you know, larger media white outlets coming for her. I don't hear anybody else talking about those, you know, who unfortunately don't have a lot of melanin in their skin. But when it's us, they love to tear us down. They love to try to make us out to be the victims and the bad guys. And the reality of it is, you know, and I respect everyone's different walk of life. I sincerely do. But it's just ridiculous how we have one of the greatest female artists of all time, if not the greatest one of the greatest entertainers ever, who has put on so much. She's put on so many magical moments in the lives of everyone. And now all of a sudden people are trying to say that, you know, she's trying to become something she's not, which we all know is not real. It just goes to show you, when, you know, you're black, there's no amount of Dial soap you can use that can wash that off. And they always going to try and find a way to bring you down to what they think you should be at. And that's why we are the greatest people of all time, because no matter what, we always overcome.
Well said. Forrest Harrison, this is another great example. He says, I used to hate when people used to say Whitney sings like a white woman. That one still bothers me to this day because Whitney is still the greatest voice of all time.
Easily.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And it's almost like you can become successful, but not too successful. And you got to stay within this safe range. Like, we can still look at you and treat you as a celebrity, but you can't become too big for us where we think that you are, you've transcended now. And, you can no longer relate to the regular common black folks, right? That's what, it's almost like that's the unspoken rule or policy that we live by. But the moment you become too big, now it's almost like they don't belong to us anymore. So we have a problem with it, and we will try to tear them down by any means necessary. Once you become a superstar, a global superstar, you can now, where people over in China know your name, and people over in Russia can sing your songs, and people in Germany will pack out the Coliseums to watch you perform. That is a global superstar. And once you've gotten to that level, black people, sometimes, a lot of black people, tend to think that you are no longer one of us. And so they want to pull you back down. Chris, before I let you go, let me just get your input on this Queen Naja, the statement that she made. She was on a live stream with a fan of hers, and her fan was so happy she got the opportunity to speak to her. And the fan is telling her, oh, my gosh, I used to listen to you when you were broke, basically. I used to listen to you when you were just starting out, and you've inspired me. You are like my idol. And, I love that you've made it this far. All the good things. She's just, singing her praises. And Queen Naja says, thank you so much. She was very nice about it. She said, thank you so much. But please, I always tell my fans, don't call me your idol because I don't want God to be mad at me. She says that's a heavy title, and she doesn't want to be looked at as an idol. Valid point or not? And do you think God would be mad? Is that a valid reason to tell someone not to call you their idol?
It is a valid reason. That's the greatest reason of all time, because if you're a believer, and I'm assuming that, she is one, scripture says it very plainly, thou shalt have no other gods before me, and you don't want to make an idol out of somebody that isn't God. Now, I understand, the logical perspective of wanting to inspire somebody and, wanting to show your light, but you got to be careful because humans are flawed. And humans have the ability to put somebody else on a pedestal and you'll say that, that they're your idol. I'll use me as a perfect example. Anybody that follows me and follows my journey, I respect the mess out of somebody like Stephen A. Smith. That's my guy. Mm-hmm. But I don't idolize Stephen A. because, number one, he's not God. And number two, I'm never going to idolize another human being. I respect what they're doing. I use them as inspiration. Mm-hmm. But, you got to be your own person, be your own character. So while the young lady was just giving her flowers, I'm glad that the woman receiving her flowers was smart enough to realize, hey, don't idolize me, idolize God.
Okay, fair enough. I'll say this and then I'll let you go. I like to look at the definitions for all things. Okay, once we're talking about something, I want to go to Google. Okay, so Google says idol is an image or representation of a god used as an object of worship. But it also says a person or thing that is greatly admired, loved, or revered. I think just in common conversation, the word idol, I do hear you. I agree with you. And I hear what the Bible says. And I believe that true definition of idol, you are not to put another idol before God. Definitely agree with that. But when we're talking in common conversation and you say, I idolize you, that just to me means that you are greatly, I admire you so much, or I love you so much. Andy? Semantics. Okay. I don't know if I'm wrong here. Y'all could slam me in the comments if you like. But Chris, let us know where we could find you online.
Well, y'all better not slander my friend in these comments. Y'all better show her some love. Don't Don't make me have to turn into Tina Knowles in these comment sections. But, you know, y'all can follow me on Instagram at Chris Gunther and all social medias. And like I always say, make sure y'all follow Robin Ayers, the Queen of LA, Queen of Talk. I'm just happy to see all the great things that you're doing. Peace and love, Queen. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much, Chris. We appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. When we come forward, we've got a Who's Got Next. It'll be real quick, but we got it. All right. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, I'm Damian Young. I'm chilling with Robin on the Rob Report.
You're inside the Rob Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
The City of Los Angeles Civil Rights Department and its LA Repair Participatory Budgeting Program invite nonprofit organizations to submit proposals to turn community ideas into reality. More than $5.4 million is available to make a difference in the Arleta, Pacoima, Westlake, Skid Row, South LA, Leimert Park, and Harbor areas. Don't wait. Proposals are due on November 29th at noon. To apply, visit repair.lacity.gov. LA Repair gives people real power over real money. Visit repair.lacity.gov. Ask any former youth in foster care what they missed most while growing up, and they will most likely answer, someone to show me unconditional love. Now, isn't that something we all wished we could experience? Here in Los Angeles, up to 40% of homeless youth on our streets identify as LGBTQ+. The most prevalent reason for homelessness among this population is the rejection they've experienced from their own families. The LA County Department of Children and Family Services and Raise a Child are searching for safe, nurturing, and affirming foster parents within our community willing to stand up and serve all children and youth in foster care, especially LGBTQ youth. Learn the many benefits to becoming a foster parent. Attend a free Raise a Child virtual or in-person informational event to learn more. RSVP now at raiseachild.org. That's raiseachild.org. And thank you.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chucha's opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chucha's Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside the Rob Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
All right. Let's jump right into it. This is Kenyon Dixon, 2000s R&B. Check it out.
Waiting until yesterday, couldn't even take it. Thought of so much to say, better I save it. I still feel some kind of way that you left. I can't help but remember all the things that you said. Said we'd be forever, ever, ever. Guess you went and found somebody better. Everything we did together. And you're telling me what we had didn't mean anything. Why you break my heart, yeah? How you just walk away, take everybody with. Thought we had something special, baby, honestly. Since you left, ain't been the same. Got me saying 2000s R&B, all in this rain like damn, I wish I never met her. Close
y'all didn't know, Kenyon Dixon is that guy. Kenyon Dixon is that guy. He's been around for quite some time, and he has been doing it really big in the R&B sector. I love the sounds of 90s, 2000s R&B. I just absolutely love the sound of it. And Kenyon Dixon is that guy, I feel, who's really, really carrying it right now. He's not carrying it alone, though. Let's be clear. There are some others who are out there really holding it down. Shout out to Eric Bellinger. Shout out to Vito. Of course, Usher is still doing his thing. So, yeah, there are some ones. It's good. Okay, so Forrest Harrison says, sounds like Jamie Foxx. Huh. I don't know if I hear Jamie Foxx. I love Jamie Foxx as a vocalist, though, by the way. I do love Jamie Foxx. He's great. I'm not sure if I get that with Kenyon Dixon, but hey, 2 ears can be different. Yeah, two ears can be different, which is nice. Houston, Texas says, nice. Okay, DJ Black 909, this is the type of music I grew up with. That's what I'm talking about. Me too, DJ Black 909. Now, this is something that I'm just going to tell you about right now. There's nothing for you to do since it definitely doesn't come to theaters until January. However, we might as well let you know about it right now. The new film is called The Book of Clarence, and it hits theaters January 12th. It's starring Lakeith Stanfield, who's an amazing actor. I feel he's always doing some fantastic projects and movies and all of those good things. And so keep that on the books. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It looks like a good one. Wow, it's been a great show. Thank you so much to Chris Gunther, who is always wonderful when he calls in. Thank you to you all. Thank you, Fahima, for enlightening us today about the use or the identification of the word colored. We appreciate you so much and all the engagement inside of our YouTube. Make sure that you like thank you. I see all the likes and everything already. We appreciate that. And we are right back at it tomorrow. You already know who's up next, though. Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. Don't touch the dial. You know he's got a fire show coming for you guys. And yeah, we're right back tomorrow. So meet me here, same time, same place. You guys, I am your host, Robin Ayers. And remember today and every day forward to be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A growing number of polls show that President Biden has a big problem earning the support of Black voters in next year's election. Republicans say there's a good reason why.